not pretty women. Today we're going to talk about jobs. And it's been a tough few days for us fellow Americans here in the United States of America. Here in Southern California, listening to the show called The Business Life on KHTS AM 1220. Don't forget, you can listen online. So if you like the start of the show and you're pulling into the driveway, go to hometownstation.com, hometownstation.com. And also we have maybe the best app in radio. Just go to the App Store and put in KHTS AM 1220 will pop up. So our show today is going to be about jobs, employment, how to get hired, how to get fired, the whole thing. And then my partner here on our job show, maybe the brightest, smartest, funniest, well, he's not that funny, but he is one of the great researchers. And you know, in the world of business or life, doing your homework, doing your research, doing your discovery, it's everything today. And he's my buddy, he's my partner. Aaron Moskowitz is his name. You can hire, stop it. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
You are funny.
Glad to be back.
You are funny when you get on the mic. You're so serious in person, but you come alive. Like George Clooney, you come alive. And you look a little bit like George Clooney, which is great. Do people stop you in the street and go, how many autographs have you signed because you look like George Clooney?
A lot of contracts, those multi-page, for your phone service, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're a very handsome
they always
young
ask
man.
for my autograph.
Aaron Moskowitz is his name, and I'm so honored to have him in the studio here. We're live. We're going to be talking about, in a few minutes, talking about how to get hired. Actually, we have the author of a book that's soon to become famous called All Systems Go, How to Launch a Successful Job Search. And of course, Aaron, you and I know that it's not easy. You know buddies that are out of work. You know buddies that are looking for jobs. It's not easy to find a job.
It's very tough right now, and we have one of the most valuable, knowledgeable resources.
Because he's a professor, at a prestigious school.
Besides that, he spent quite a bit of time with the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, you're kidding.
Running the human capital area. And
human capital means you, ladies and gentlemen.
We discussed last episode, right? People, workers, talent.
Oh, this guy's got a background on him. So,
yes, sir.
So are you saying he was an ex-federal government employee who got fired, probably?
No, I think he left on his own terms.
Huh? You can't.
If
you work for the federal government, you can't get fired. I mean, he'll know the statistics of getting fired are like less than 0.1%. You've got to, I don't know what you have to do. Anyway, that's another day, another subject. Let's talk about, so our show is about jobs, employment, the whole industry. We both agree that we think America's underserved and underemployed. People are not getting raises. People are stuck in their jobs. But people don't know how to get unstuck. They don't know how to find a new job. They don't know where to go. And there's some reasons for it. And you and I have done some research on this. First of all, interviewing is like public speaking. And next to the fear, I think the fear of death is second to the fear of public speaking.
Yes.
So if interviewing is in your mind like public speaking because you're talking to a stranger, you're being judged, you're being watched, right? Mm-hmm. It's intimidating.
Right.
And when we get to our author, we'll talk about it. Second thing is nobody, including myself, likes to be rejected.
No.
You're so handsome that you don't get rejected, but
never happens.
No, but I get rejected occasionally. It happened 20 years ago once. I can't remember what happened, but I've been rejected a couple times. It's painful. I avoid rejection at all costs. If you're going to reject me today, you're done. You're not going to be in my life if you reject me. That's the way I feel about things. So people say it takes how many interviews to get a job? 50 interviews to get one job?
I've heard more, and it depends where you're trying to enter the market. Mm-hmm. If it's entry level or veteran manager status. I've even seen cases where it's taken over a year.
Right.
And that's why
that's why a lot of rejection.
Companies,
I mean
Right. A lot of companies are giving 6 months to a year severance.
So I don't. I want to ask the professor when he comes in the studio. How much. I would grow up with dress for success. So I want to find out if that'll be one of my questions. Do you have any questions for him?
Well, you didn't have to wear your tux today.
I did because he's coming in the studio.
Right, I know.
I think he's being limoed.
I just thought that was far-fetched.
This guy is being limoed into the studio.
Right.
He's a professor.
Right.
So you don't drive your own car when you're a professor. You get limoed in.
No.
Okay, so one of the questions is, I'm tall, dark, and handsome, and you're not. So am I going to get hired over you?
Maybe, maybe not.
We're going to find out.
All right.
On the show we call The Business of Life. Talking about employment. I was going to say unemployment because I may be unemployed soon. But we're talking about employment on the show today, jobs. So we'll talk about resumes when we get our author on, because I don't believe in resumes. Do you have a resume?
I do.
Yeah, send it to
Should
me,
we
'cause
read it right now?
No, but
Okay.
I don't believe in them. I mean, does anybody ever tell the truth on resumes? No. Do you tell the truth? Be honest.
Embellished.
Well, should we really be saying this over the radio?
Yeah, you can. I think you can.
I always tell the truth, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Aaron Moskowitz. All right, so let's. I see his car pulling up. Wow, look at that limo. Oh my goodness, that is quite a car that he's coming in. This guy must have money. So when you write a book, he's probably sold thousands of books. The title of the book is All Systems Go: How to Launch a Successful Job Search. He's coming in the studio right now. Here he is. Oh, he just knocked. Come on in. Come on in. All right, sit down, Tom. All right, grab your thing. All right, so put your microphone here, right in front of you. There
Perfect.
right there.
There you go.
So welcome to the show. Welcome to Southern California. Welcome to KHTS Radio, 1220 AM. Now, Tom, you're a professor. Are you allowed to say what school you're a professor at?
Sure.
What school?
I'm at Azusa Pacific University in their graduate school of business.
Congratulations.
Nice plug.
You ever heard of a school called
All right.
Cal Lutheran?
Yes, I have.
No. Okay.
Had some
You
good
did a little
friends
work
there.
at Cal Lutheran. So we never could beat you guys in football. All right. You write this book. So what do you teach?
I teach human resource management subjects. That's actually my background. Came out of
So you're an
professional
ex-HR guy?
ex-HR leader. Mm-hmm.
I don't get along with HR guys, so I hope I get along with you. Now, Aaron Moskowitz said you worked for the federal government?
I was for a brief time the head of human capital, as they call it, or human resource management for Homeland Security.
No kidding. Wow, Tom Cairns. Check this out. Look him up. See if he's telling you the truth. So that had you're talking about hundreds of thousands of employees, right?
Yes, there were at that time, and it's still the same, about 250,000 people.
Oh my goodness. Do you know that I'm TSA approved? Does that mean anything to you?
That means you have a better status than me.
Really? I am TSA approved.
We have clearance, Clarence.
And let me tell you what, going through the air. So I just came back from a trip. I can't tell you where I went unless you give me $20, cold hard cash. So I'm going through LAX, right? I mean, there's literally hundreds of people in line. The TSA approved line, there's like 5 people I walked right through. You know, it was amazing. You know, do you have anything on you? No. Yep, go. Have a nice trip, you know. So welcome here to Southern California. So this is an important subject that we're going to talk about today because in my mind, America's underemployed. In my mind, the statistics coming out of Washington are not accurate. I'm not going to embarrass you about the statistics, but why did you write this book? It's called All Systems Go: How to Launch a Successful Job Search. What possessed you to write the book? Yeah.
Sure. I wrote it a couple years ago, and one of the challenges that I had, and then one of the things I really enjoyed about HR work was developing people. And when I left corporate life and looked at the various experiences that people were having, I realized that there is a lot of information and maybe misinformation also about job search. And so I tried to work through some of the mystery of that and focus on the practical things that people needed to know. And then there's also, you have the ability to go get additional information, but how do you really just get started? And I think that's the part, as you were saying, that people are challenged, and part of that challenge is they don't know where to begin. And so I tried to find a way to get people to not only get started, but to also be able to do the things that would result in landing a job that they love.
That's great. Having somebody like you in the studio with such a prestigious background is it's an honor, and I have so many questions. So you and I are about the same age, and maybe a little bit younger and better looking, but
that's true.
I'm not exaggerating. When I was in my early 20s, I must have had 100 jobs. All of a sudden, for 1 year, I decided I'm going to take a job. I'm looking for the dream job. So I worked for IBM for a week. I worked for Hallmark Cards for a week, Avis for a week, and I go on and on for all the companies that I worked for a week. And I was tall at the time, well built, being an athlete. And I always thought that my presence got me the job, because I'm not that intelligent. You know, you're not looking at a rocket scientist here, like Aaron Moskowitz. So dress for success. I remember I spent a lot of time polishing my shoes. I bought back then what I thought were expensive suits for $99 at Sears. So I wanted to be the best looking, best. Does that mean anything today?
I think it's still relevant, most definitely, even though there are a lot of areas with casual where a lot of companies have gone casual, but I would still recommend showing up in a suit. Tell you an interesting story on that Dress for Success. There's actually a nonprofit company called Dress for Success.
Oh, yeah.
And they're an international company, and they actually got started.
Aaron's acting like he knows the company.
Yeah, I know the CEO. So.
Well, I was going to say that the CEO was in law school and had a relative pass away and left her some money. And she, quite frankly, wasn't in love with the law and decided that she wanted to go do something else with that money. And she remembered a story that her father told her. When he was hiring people, he would sit by the window, and as people would walk into the establishment, just by the way they looked, he knew whether he would hire them or not. And he told his daughter this story, and he said, "This is just the way it is." And she did not like that story at all. And so she determined when she had this money to go out and to help people prepare their visually how they looked and appeared to go to work, and so then founded Dress for Success. So it as much as you want to know about the individual, you have to get past the part of having people focus on you, the person, and get beyond any distractions, which obviously dress could distract.
So I know before we get to the meaty questions, I want to ask all the shallow questions, being as shallow as I am. But I mean, if you're way overweight as an HR person, can you be honest today for the first time in your life? So if you see somebody that's literally 300 pounds, do you check any box there? I mean, there's a health box, right?
Well, I would say, people would. You want to put your best foot forward when you're going in. I think one of the challenges, and even for me as an HR person, is that you want to, again, look past anything that may cause you not to focus on the individual. So that could be the way they appear, it could be the way they talk, it could be the way they give you eye contact, shake your hand, whatever else it is.
So the handshake's still important?
Handshakes are still important. And
more important for a guy than a female?
No, just the same I'd say for everyone from that standpoint, knowing how to greet someone. And,
okay. And these are soft skills that you're a college professor, and Aaron and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. You're listening to The Business Life on KHTS AM 1220, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, heard all over Southern California. The website is hometownstation.com. Also, the website is a great radio website, one of the best websites in the country, hometownstation.com. So the question goes, what was the question, Aaron? You remember what the question was while I cough?
About dressing for success.
That was 10 questions ago.
I'm sorry, I just woke up.
You're amazing. Can I call you Professor?
He's a big help.
Tom
right?
Cairns is my guest. He's no help. Tom Cairns is my guest. His book is All Systems Go. If you're listening, call up the station. Tell me what my question was going to be. All Systems Go. How to launch a successful job search. I'm laughing, but this is a serious question. Here's where I was going. I started to say you're a college professor, and that I don't think the kids have soft skills today. Soft skills, eye contact. You make great eye contact with me right now. Handshake is weak. I mean, there's a lot of these college kids that I meet along the way, and I'm just disappointed in their soft skills, what I call the handshake, the eye contact, how they're dressed, how they sit. Their posture is horrible. It's like nobody's teaching them how to interview. Am I too off kilter here on this, or no?
No. I mean, a lot of the aspects that you're describing would be things that we would take for granted.
Got it.
And they're not things that they're actually teachable, and or you learn them. And so a lot of that you'll pick up either by individuals or people that you're with, or hopefully you do need some formal training. You mentioned the handshake. Believe it or not, there's actually a way to know that you can make the perfect handshake.
So gang signs are not admired.
Probably
Aaron admires gang signs. So
they probably make professionals like Tom piss in their pants. Yeah. Is that allowed to say?
This is a family station here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay. So
we just went more than PG.
Yeah. Now we're PG 13.
His name is Tom Cairns on the show we call The Business of Life, talking about employment, jobs, the whole. I mean, it's such a huge industry. So, all right, let's get past soft skills. Here's resumes. I've hired hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't even look at resumes. I don't even want to look at the resume. I want to ask. Here's the question I always ask: tell me how you're going to help me make more money, or tell me how you're going to be productive. That's what I want to know. Because I mean, you've lied on your resume, haven't you, Professor?
No.
No, you haven't.
No.
You never lied on your resume.
No.
Okay, where'd you go to college?
I went to Rider University.
Rider, never heard of it.
Yeah.
What kind of football program do they have?
They don't even have football.
There you go. That's why I wouldn't even hire you.
I had to leave the state of New Jersey.
How
to find
did
a
you
football
become
team,
the HR director of Homeland Security? I mean, that is, to me, when I found that out, that is extremely prestigious.
He lied on his resume. That's
actually,
Aaron, you're in the corner for 10 minutes using that 4-letter word. Okay, I'm going to hear about it. Trust me.
Okay.
I will hear. You got to clean up your act.
We'll censor that out, right?
Thank you. No, this is live radio at KHTS AM 1220. How did you get a job as HR director of Homeland? Who did you know?
I knew.
You knew somebody.
I did, and
so this goes to the question: it's who you know versus what you know.
It's also who knows you.
Oh, interesting.
Which is the way I would focus.
Personal branding.
It comes around that way. I mentioned I was in corporate life. I worked for NBC, and an individual I had worked for.
Stop it. NBC?
I did, yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And but an individual I had worked for 20 years prior became the head of HR for Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
He received a call from the White House asking him for referrals, and he and I had stayed in contact with each other, and he referred me on. Which
pays to have friends.
Which actually, one of the aspects of job search is that about probably 40% of jobs are filled through referrals. So whether it's somebody on the inside or somewhere else, which is why it's important to have a good network.
Wow. How important as a young person or any age is social media? Is this, well, first of all, to get to the HR person in Homeland Security, you're not dealing with entry-level starter-ups like Aaron Moskowitz. You're never going to see him. He would be a lower life human being at a lower level.
Well, every organization has what I would say call entry-level jobs, whether they call it that or not.
Aaron's at the you and I are at the penthouse level,
of course.
Yeah.
And but for me, actually, I really enjoyed looking for people at the starter levels,
really?
and because eventually they're going to be working their way up in an organization. So it's as important, or even maybe more important, to make sure you hire entry-level people as you would a senior executive. So we did have those aspects, and you have that obviously in corporate life. The challenge today is that probably the label entry-level positions, you don't see that as much anymore, so it's probably a little bit more difficult for someone who's first trying to get started to determine what is really a job I'm qualified for, or would be one I'd be considered for without a lot of work experience. And so that's challenging.
And that really goes to a heart of 18 more questions I want to ask. We're talking to Tom Cairns, the author of All Systems Go: How to Launch a Successful Job Search. Now, can people buy this book on Amazon?
They can,
And you're going to give me a free book, of course.
I'll give you a free book. I'll actually autograph it if it helps.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna latch on to you. Like the fact that you're an NBC, I'm sure you can
And
get me in.
we will be giving away.
Aaron, can you raise your hand, please? Go ahead.
Teacher,
Go ahead.
we will be giving away a free copy for those people that opt in on jobhow.net.
What site?
Jobhow, JOBHOW.net.
You're going to give away a free book?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's awful nice to you. Jobhow.net. Our show brought to you by Lisa's Tax Service. Don't try to do your taxes by yourself. You're just kidding yourself. Go to Lisa's Tax Service. You can look her up. She's everywhere. She is the best. She's also authorized or certified something to represent you, Aaron, in front of the IRS. So when they...
Good timing. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
June.
You're in front of Lisa's Tax Service. Also, if you need a coach, I'm available, but I'm a job coach. So if you need to get hired, Aaron, to find your next career, call me. You can look me up. Go to CoachTunick.com.
I'm doing that bad, huh?
No,
Okay.
people cannot. Seriously, people can't find their own jobs. We're going to talk to Tom about it in a second.
All right.
So, so honored to have you in the studio. What a resume and what a background you have. This question troubles me. Well, let me just ask it. Did you ever meet President Obama?
You know what? No.
Really?
Well, even I've met him.
No, you've met everybody. America's #1 researcher.
Right.
That's another thing. That's another show we'll do, Aaron. Okay. So back to you, Tom Caron. So let's start with your book, Chapter 1 in your book. I've read literally, I'm not exaggerating, 1,000 books, right, Aaron? You've seen my library.
Yes.
Just say yes. Did you say yes?
No.
Did you know I'm doing a rap song called Yep and Nope? Did you see it on Facebook?
Let me help you write it.
Yep.
I think I wrote it today.
All right, back to you, Tom Cairns. So, Chapter 1 in your book, what's it about? Anyway, I started to say the first 4 chapters of any book, that's what you want to read. Chapter 1, go.
That's true. I try to start it off with find a job that you would love and why, and a job that you're passionate about, and the fact that you can look in a variety of different ways, and some of them are right in front of you and you don't even know it. And so I try to get people excited about where they are in life right now and where do they want to go. And
can I call it your dream job? Looking for your dream job? Is it okay for me to say that?
Yeah. Although I come across that a lot. In myself too. That there are people that are looking for their dream job, and the one unfortunate thing sometimes is that people find what they think is their dream job, and it turns out it's not. It's more a nightmare. So what I think is you should look for that job you're most excited about and passionate about, and that can be a dream job.
I want to get into the weeds on this. We're talking to Tom Cairns, the author of All Systems Go: How to Launch a Successful Job Site. We're going to come right back. Our show brought to you by Lisa's Tax Service. I'm not kidding you. She's one of the best in her profession. We'll be right back.